Matthew and the Midnight Turkeys by Alan Morgan. Matthew woke up very early one day. He didn't feel much like sleeping anymore, so he decided to fall out of bed instead. "What are you doing in there?" called his mother. "I'm falling down a hole," Matthew told her. "Couldn't you do it more quietly?" asked his mother. So Matthew decided to spin round and round until he fell down and fell into holes that way for a while. "Be quiet, you turkey," his mother called. "I can't," Matthew told her. "Whenever I'm dizzy, I tickle myself." "I'm hungry. Can I make my own breakfast today?" "No way," said his mother. "You're much too silly." Later that morning, when Matthew went out to the yard to play, he decided to dig a big hole in the garden. He worked very hard and for a very long time, and when his mother came outside, she was very surprised to see how much he'd done. "Matthew," she cried, "that's my flower bed. Lucky for you my flowers aren't in. You get rid of that hole right away." "But it's my very best one," Matthew replied, "and I need it for something. Can I keep it for just one day?" "Well, okay," said his mother, "but I'm planning to plant my flowers tomorrow, so that hole has to go." When Matthew came in for lunch, he was very hungry. "I need 2 peanut butter and banana sandwiches with plenty of honey inside," he told his mother. "I've decided to use my hole as a trap to catch the midnight turkeys." "The midnight who?" asked his mother. "Turkeys," said Matthew. "They're the ones that come out just at midnight. Midnight turkeys are silly, you know. Very, very silly. They'll fall right into my trap for sure." "I see," said his mother. "And what are you planning to do with them all once they all fall in?" "I'll have them for breakfast," Matthew explained. "Midnight turkeys make a very good meal, especially if you are hungry." Matthew decided to leave a few things in the trap so the midnight turkeys would have something to do when they all fell in. He brought out his comics, a deck of cards, a couple of cars, and his telephone, some of his better bottle tops, and a few other things that midnight turkeys are known to be fond of. He made some signs and some arrow sticks so the midnight turkeys would know which way was the best to go. A few of the signs had words on them too, just in case the midnight turkeys could read a little. Then Matthew went to have his dinner. He took a hot bath and got into bed. Soon he was fast asleep, but later that night, around midnight, Matthew woke up. He ran to the window and looked out to see if the midnight turkeys were coming. They were. The midnight turkeys were walking right down the middle of the street, and they certainly were silly. They were tickling each other and laughing together. The sillier ones even tickled themselves, which is quite hard to do. They snickered and giggled and wiggled their bums. They pushed out their bellies and bumped into each other whenever they could, and whenever they did, they said, "Oh, pardon me," and fell down. And when they all stood up again, they gathered around a streetlight together and sang a sentimental song about underwear. After a while, the midnight turkeys noticed the signs Matthew had made. The ones that could read them read what they said, and the ones that couldn't ate them instead, just in case they tasted like something. In no time at all, they found Matthew's trap. They all lined up and waited their turn to fall into the hole, and it wasn't very long before every single one of them was caught. Matthew went out to see if his trap was working the way he wanted it to. It was! The midnight turkeys had settled right in and were having a wonderful time. "Hey, you turkeys!" Matthew yelled down. "How do you like it?" "We love it!" they cried. "The trap's the best we've been caught in! Come on, fall in, there's lots of room!" So Matthew jumped in and all the turkeys tickled him, just to make him feel at home. Matthew laughed so hard it made him hungry. The midnight turkeys were hungry too, so they phoned out for a pizza. 10 super jumbos with anything on them, they ordered. So all that night they ate lots of pizza and played lots of cards. And when they got tired of doing that, they ate up the cards and they played with the pizza. Then they sang a long medley of turkey songs till the night was done and the sun came up. "I'm starting to feel a bit hungry again," Matthew said, so he took the turkeys into his kitchen and had them for breakfast. The midnight turkeys made the meal. First they served some cereal sandwiches with lots of jam and bananas inside. Then they poured some orange juice into a bowl and added in tins of tomato juice too, just to make the color look right. They also used grape juice and ginger ale, a whole lot of cola, and then, to make sure it was sweet enough, they dumped in a tin of chocolate syrup and stirred it all up. "The juice of many flavors is good for you," they told Matthew. "It's full of vitamins and lots of other stuff." Soon it was time for the turkeys to go, so they said goodnight and fell out the back door. Matthew curled up in the kitchen chair and fell fast asleep right away. Later that morning, when Matthew's mother came in to make breakfast, she was very surprised to find breakfast was already ready. She woke Matthew up. "Good heavens!" she cried. "What happened in here?" "The midnight turkeys got caught in my trap, just the way I thought they would," Matthew said. "So I jumped in too, and we had so much fun that I had them for breakfast. They made such a very good meal for me. I saved some for you." Matthew's mother took a long look around at the mess that was there. She sighed in distress and sat down on a chair. "I don't think I need any breakfast right now," she said to Matthew. "What I need right now is a cup of coffee."